There's a you, waiting in the shadows, that your current self would not dare to face. Most people misunderstand what discipline really is. They think it's about routines and checklists. It is not. True discipline is a declaration of war against the weaker parts of your soul. Machiavelli wrote, not for the kind, but for the clear-eyed. He understood that in a chaotic world, softness is a liability. To hold power, you must become a storm that cannot be steered. When you cultivate this kind of discipline, people don't just admire you, they grow uneasy. They sense a man who cannot be moved by petty dramas or empty opinions. A man who has ended the civil war inside his own mind. And that is a terrifying thing to witness. You are here because you are deeply weary, not of work, but of your own constant compromise. You watch others move ahead while you're stuck in a cycle of starting strong and then fading. You want a mind that cannot be penetrated. Today, I will show you how to forge it. This is not about improvement. It is about demolition. We will tear down the pleading, emotional version of you so the commander can take control. We are going to apply the unsentimental principles of Niccolò Machiavelli to your own life. By the end, you will see why being respected through your unwavering consistency is a far greater strength than being liked. But listen carefully. The key is not in what you gain, but in what you are prepared to eliminate. Most men live as servants. Servants to their cravings, to their screens, to the chatter of the crowd. The instant you choose this road, your servitude ends. You become the authority. But authority demands a cost. Are you prepared to pay it? Phase 1. The power of secrecy. Machiavelli observed that everyone sees what you seem to be, but few touch what you truly are. The ordinary man announces everything. He shares his plans, his gym sessions, his new chapter online before a single page is written. He hunts for applause for effort he hasn't spent. This is why he stumbles. He lets off the steam before the boiler is even hot. You must become the opposite. You must become a shadow. Real discipline needs silence. It needs the cover of night. When you constantly talk about your aims, you are pleading for permission. You are asking, am I allowed to become this? Stop asking. The most formidable person in any space is the one who observes, listens, and offers nothing. When you go quiet, you create a void. It makes people uncomfortable. They fill it with their own insecurities. They wonder what you're planning. They wonder why their approval no longer matters to you. This silence is your shield. It guards your purpose. When you operate unseen, you can fail without an audience. You can adjust without criticism. You grow stronger without the poison of other people's uncertainty. Picture vanishing for half a year. No statements, no justifications. Only the work, the iron, the craft, the study. You kill the distraction. You kill the easy pleasure. You kill the friendships that only bloom when you are not growing. And then you return, but not as you left. You return calibrated, denser. Your energy has changed. You won't need to announce your transformation. They will sense it in your stillness. They will hear it in the words you do not say. This is the way of the shadow. It unnerves people because it shows them their own fragmented attention. It shows them that while they hunted for likes, you were constructing influence. Begin now. Stop giving reasons. Giving reasons is the dialect of the powerless. The strong do not explain their moves. They make them. If you're exhausted, be quiet and work. If you're in pain, be quiet and recover. If you're succeeding, be quiet and continue. Your outcomes will communicate, and their message will drown out anything you could ever utter. Phase 2. Mastering your internal weather. There's a false idea that disciplined individuals are numb, that they don't experience doubt or frustration or ache. That is incorrect. The disciplined man feels it all. He feels the pull of the warm bed. He feels the burn of failure. He feels the massive temptation to surrender. The distinction is, he is not commanded by it. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must not be controlled by feeling, but must wield it. He recognized men are moved by two core forces, affection or dread. You must turn this on yourself. You cannot depend on loving the process. You will not love it in the cold, dark morning. You will despise it. You cannot depend on fiery enthusiasm. That fire flickers and dies. You require something more solid. You require obligation. Discipline is the practice of doing the exact opposite of what your emotions demand. It is internal alchemy. You take the heavy anchor of I can't, and you transform it into the polished steel of it is done. When you cease checking in with your mood before you act, you become a threat. Consider this. If a rival knows you only advance when you feel inspired, they simply wait for you to feel sorrowful, to feel drained, and then you are vulnerable. But if you are the type of man who pushes harder when he is defeated, who trains more when his heart is shattered, who concentrates more intensely when he is furious, you become a puzzle. You become untouched by a situation. This frightens people. They observe you and think, why won't he quit? He should be shattered by now. They fail to grasp that you have separated your deeds from your internal climate. You regard your emotions like the forecast. You might glance outside and see a downpour. You note it. It is raining. But you do not abandon your objective because of weather. You wear your gear and you move forward. This is the Machiavellian way for the self. You are the sovereign, and your feelings are the restless citizens. You hear their petitions, but you never let them govern the state. If they rebel, you restore order. Start using the instant rule. When the alarm screams, you have 3 seconds. If you ponder for 4, your mind will debate you back into the sheets. Your mind is built for survival, not for supremacy. It is a mechanism for safety, not for victory. You must skip the discussion. 1, 2, 3, go. Do not ponder. Pondering is the foe of action. In the moment of frailty, just go. The body must follow the order. With repetition, you reroute your mind's pathways. You stop being a man who attempts to be good. You become a system that operates no matter its internal condition. This is how you become unbreakable. When your inner world no longer controls your outer production, you are liberated. Phase 3. The strategic use of solitude. Machiavelli knew that to keep authority, a leader must frequently stand apart. He stated that a shrewd ruler should depend on what he himself commands, not on what others command. Look at your inner circle. Look at the 5 voices you hear the most. Are they lifting you, or are they complacent? Most people are scared of being alone. They stuff every quiet gap with noise, with songs, with messages, with feeds. They cannot bear a room with only their thoughts because their thoughts accuse them. Their thoughts speak the truth. You're squandering your gift. To become awesomely disciplined, you must welcome solitude. You must be ready to distance yourself from those who do not aid the objective. This sounds harsh. It is. It is merciless, and it is required. When you begin to ascend, people will try to tug you down, not from malice, but because your progress exposes their standstill. You are a reflection. When you get fit, the unfit friend feels exposed. When you build something, the idle friend feels accused. They will say, you're different. You're fixated. You're boring now. Excellent. Amusement is the diversion of the mediocre. You are not here for amusement. You are here for command. You must grow comfortable with the notion of being the antagonist in their narrative. Let them name you callous. Let them name you remote. Let them gossip that you believe you're superior. You don't believe you're superior. You simply have a different benchmark, and you will not dilute it to soothe another's discomfort. Solitude is the workshop of the exceptional. It is in the alone hours that you discover who you truly are without the static of other voices. You hear your own directive. You sharpen your sight. You must plan blocks of total retreat. Monk mode. Deep focus. Call what you will. Lock the door. Silence the device and confront the task. In that vacuum, you will meet your demons. You will meet boredom. You will meet dread. And you will battle them. And when you win that battle in private, you will step back into the world with an assurance that cannot be pretended. People detect this. They detect a man who does not require them. And paradoxically, that is what draws them to you. The man at peace alone is the man everyone seeks, because he is the only one not trying to take something from them. He is complete. Phase 4. The strength of the unreadable. Machiavelli counseled that a prince should avoid being wholly foreseeable. It is far more secure to be feared than loved, because love is a bond men break when it suits them, but fear is a chain of punishment that always holds. How does this relate to discipline? When you are without discipline, you are predictable. People know you will give up. They know you will whine. They know that with enough pressure, you will bend. You are simple to control because your flaws are on display. When you become disciplined, you become an error in their system. You cease responding. Someone offends you, you show no rage. You look at them, wait, and return to your duty. A disaster strikes. You do not flail. You assess. You suffer a loss. You do not weep. You reconstruct. This absence of reaction is paralyzing to those who seek to manipulate. They depend on your emotional swings to steer you. When you remove the levers they use to press, they are helpless. Your steadfastness becomes your blade. Imagine a man who arrives every single day. He does not lament. He does not boast. He only acts year upon year. You cannot halt him. You cannot dishearten him. You cannot sidetrack him. That man is frightening because he is unavoidable. You must become that man. You must become the pressure that cannot be negotiated with. This isn't about aggression. It is about being immovable like a mountain, slow, silent, and reshaping all in its way. This demands you murder the piece of you that desires pity. Stop recounting your troubles. Stop broadcasting your struggles. Stop searching for a comforting hand. When you seek sympathy, you are exposing your throat. You are showing the world where you can be wounded. Machiavelli would instruct you to conceal your injuries, not from shame, but because you refuse to give an opponent the joy of knowing they cut you. Stand tall. Settle your expression. Walk with intent. Even if your life is collapsing, you never let them see you tremble. This isn't deception. This is design. You are designing the reality. You are telling the world, I command this, and in time, you will know it. Phase 5, the code of the absolute. Why do you falter? You falter because your requirements are too lenient. You have settled for a reality where attempting is sufficient, where close enough is acceptable. You need to raise the baseline. Machiavelli examined the great civilizations. They did not crumble from outside foes. They decayed from the inside. They lost their rigor. They grew indulgent. Ease made them feeble. You exist in the most indulgent era in human history. You have constant comfort, instant delivery, endless distraction, hollow stimulation. Everything is engineered to make you pliant. Everything is engineered to pacify you. To be disciplined now is an act of defiance. You must declare war on coziness. You must set standards that seem insane to everyone else. Why do you rise before dawn? Why do you check every line? Why do you reject that distraction? Because I am not like you. That is the inner voice. You don't speak it. You live it. When you hold yourself to a code of excellence, you reveal the ordinariness around you. This is why they resent it. Your being challenges their justifications. If you can achieve it, why can't they? It's simpler for them to label you extreme than to confess their own idleness. Let them. The Machiavellian individual does not shrink to be comprehended by the foolish. He compels the world to climb to his level, or he departs from it. You must become vicious with your time. Time is the one asset you cannot get back. Every moment spent bickering with a fool, mindlessly scrolling, or fretting over the uncontrollable is a moment stolen from your future dominion. Guard your minutes like a sentinel guards a gate. Be unavailable. Be concise. Be unequivocal. When people learn your time is precious, they cease wasting it. When they learn your focus is scarce, they prize it. Discipline manufactures scarcity, and scarcity manufactures worth. By becoming so disciplined, you are almost automatic in your performance. You lift yourself above the fray. Most people fight in the middle. The air is rare at the summit because so few have the will to climb that high. The perspective is different. The quiet is profound. Phase 6, the end of who you were. This is the most difficult phase. This is where you conduct the burial. To become the person who makes them uneasy, you must bury the person you have been. You must bury the version that needs to be popular. You must bury the version that says sorry for wanting more. You must look at your history, your errors, your pain, your shames, and you must shut that book. Machiavelli wrote that you cannot escape conflict. You can only delay it to your enemy's benefit. You are in a conflict with your former self. If you do not end him, he will end your future. He will pull you back into old patterns. He will murmur in your ear when difficulty comes. Just pause. Just one time. Just skip a day. You must be pitiless. You are molting a shell. It is agonizing. It leaves you sensitive. But it is the only path to expansion. You may lose companions. You may lose a relationship. Your family may not recognize you. This is a levy for magnitude. Do not protest the levy. Simply pay it. Because on the far side of that ending is a rebirth. A version of you that is tighter, sharper, and more decisive. A version that runs on principle, not on passing sentiment. A version that sees existence as a game of strategy, not a party. This new you is intimidating. He intimidates you a little, doesn't he? He should. Power is always unsettling. And you are constructing power, not over others, that is oppression, but over yourself, that is sovereignty. When you enter a space with total command of yourself, you resonate on a different level. People make way. They don't know why, but they know you are not to be tested. You carry that gaze, the gaze of a man who has faced a void and crossed it, the gaze of a man who has mastered his own consciousness. There is no bigger triumph. As the Stoics understood, as Machiavelli knew, the man who vanquishes himself is mightier than he who takes a fortress. So what occurs when you dedicate yourself to this? When you truly become this disciplined, the static ceases. The low-grade panic that has hummed in your life for years goes silent, because anxiety stems from knowing you are not ready. It comes from knowing you are dishonest with yourself. When you are disciplined, you have no secrets from yourself. You know your identity. You know your capacity. You stop dreading tomorrow because you are engineering it. You stop fearing other people because you know they cannot outlast you. You stop fearing defeat because you know each setback is merely information for the next advance. You become free, but it is a stark freedom. It is a solitary freedom. It is the freedom of the wolf on the ridge, looking upon the flock in the pasture. They are warm. They are secure. They are provided for. But they are captive. You are out in the stark air. You are hungry, but you are free. And that is the decision you must make now. Do you want the comfort of the crowd or the potency of the pursuit? You cannot possess both. Machiavelli composed his philosophy in banishment. He was robbed of the position, harmed, and pushed out. And in that bleakness, he wrote the ideas that would shift history. He did not crave the cheers. He craved the reality. Your discipline is your reality. It is the one thing that belongs solely to you. They can seize your wealth. They can seize your title. They can seize your standing, but they cannot seize your discipline. They cannot seize your capacity to persist. That is your stronghold. That is your seat of power. Listen, the world is growing softer. The world is growing noisier. The world is spinning into more chaos. This is your edge. While they grow feeble, you grow solid. While they grow scattered, you grow concentrated. While they seek the cushion, you seek the ledge. You will unnerve them, not because you intend to, but because you are a mirror reflecting all they lack the courage to become. Let them look. Let them talk. Let them be afraid. You have a mission to complete. The road is cold. The road is steep, and you must walk it by yourself. But now you are prepared. If you have listened to this point, you are among the fraction of a percent. You are the exception. Demonstrate it. Comment right now, I walked the cold road. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of true strength, to equip your mind with tools they never show you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Winds of Thought, and ring the bell. We are only beginning. Your old self is gone. Now, go construct the new one.